Hello, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to Fun Fold Friday. Oh, wow, what a great week it's been. We had the first week of school, and we're right back into the so welcome to our Fun Fold Friday, our live Fun Fold Friday, our every week fun time that we have. So let's get started. So last week the vote came in, and it was again by one vote. Gallery Blooms was the set that was chosen at the end of the voting, and so tonight's fun fold is going to be this set. This is part of a suite. I'll show you the dies in a minute because we're going to be using the dies. But I also wanted to show you the beautiful paper that comes with this suite. It is called the Beautiful Gallery. It is 6x6. The colors that coordinate with it are Basic Beige, Basic Black, Basic Gray, Calypso Coral, Cloud Cover, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Peach Pie, Pecan Pie, Secret Sea, and Smoky Slate. And so these just have some beautiful images on it. This was one of the papers I was thinking about doing tonight. And here's the other side. It has kind of an abstract little forest there. You get 4 sheets of each design. To be a city street in winter. Very pretty. I'll show you the other side. Get to the 4th piece. And I love this pattern too. So pretty, so elegant. Then we have this great floral image. Looks like it's came out of like a science book because it has the scientific name. So it looks like this is straight from a science textbook. And then we just have a nice washed image on the back. Here's another one that I thought of using for tonight's card. It is a beautiful like meadow, and then this is on the back of that piece. If you like the ocean, I love this. It's just a bay. The water is at low tide. It's just beautiful with the clouds above, and then we just have like a wood wash finish on the other side. We have we have some really pretty floral images in this set as well. Here's one of them. Isn't that pretty? The roses. And then on the back, we have like a city map. I haven't thought about how I'm going to use this side yet, but I think it will be interesting to try. If you like that secret sea and cloud cover combination, these are beautiful roses as well. So pretty. And on the back side, you have, it's hard to see the pattern, but it's a beautiful light blue pattern on the back. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for joining tonight. Hi, Roz. Roz, I have a student in my advisory whose name is Roz. I haven't had a Roz before. This was right to the package. I just love this vase of flowers. And then the back side is another really pretty pattern. And this is another pattern. I just love this pattern and think I can do some really fun things with it. Those beautiful colors. And then on the back side, we just have a nice sage-looking wash. And this one here, I just don't want to, I want to make sure I'm showing you the right back. I should have just pulled one out from each. This looks like a couple of trees going up and their branches are kind of intersecting. And then on the back, we have some gray tones. And this isn't our last pattern because the last pattern is the one we're going to be using tonight. Here's a beautiful path meandering along a homestead. Just really beautiful. And then another wash on the back. So that's the designer series paper, except for the pattern we're using tonight. So tonight, we are going to be using this pattern. I just thought it fit perfect for what I wanted to do tonight. And on the back side, it has this really pretty blue pattern. So for this card that I'm going to make tonight, you need to have 2 pieces of 6x6 cardstock, designer series paper. And then you're going to need, and I'm going to try to match the Mossy Mellow in here and the basic beige in the top and the bottom. So you're going to need a piece of 5.5 by 11 inches of cardstock. I have here a 5 3/8 by a 3 7/8 piece of cardstock. My printer's over there starting to print. Wonder what it's doing. And then I have 2 pieces that are 5 3/8 by 1 5/8. Making tonight is called a panoramic accordion fold. Let me just move these out of the way. We're going to use them in just a minute. So this is the front of the card. I used the dies. The hello comes from Sweet Blooms. This stamp set, I think I showed it to you. It doesn't have any sentiments in it. So I had to use a sentiment from another stamp set. So I used the hello from that. I used some of the die cuts. And this opens up like an accordion card, so you can see what it looks like when it's standing. And this is the hard part to show. So if it's standing like this, you can see the pattern repeat itself as it goes along. If I bring it down just a little bit, you can see how that pattern is going to move right across, making that panoramic view. And so I think this is so cool with this designer series paper. And when you turn the card over, because as you can see on the front, we have some spaces here that we could write, but I think that really adds to the panoramic part of the card. So I put a piece of 3 7/8 by 5 3/8 on the back, and I stamped it, and I'm actually going to stamp a greeting probably on the card that we make tonight, because I would like to send this to a friend. So that is tonight's card. Let's make it so we can see what we need. And I do have my little cheat sheet here. We're going to be using a pecan pie ink. I've got my stamps already mounted. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do the designer series paper. So first thing I think we'll do is our scoring. So as I said, this piece of paper is a 5.5 piece of paper by 11 inches. So I'm going to grab my score pal. I like using this, especially when I have longer paper, because it just tool. And we're going to be scoring this at, are you ready? At 1 3/4 inches. So there's that. Then we're going to score it at 3.5. So we're kind of going with that 1 3/4 along the way. 5 1/4. And finally at 7 inches. Again, these dimensions on the cardstock and the scoring measurements will all be in the comments under my Facebook post, and then I will also have it in my in the description on my YouTube channel. So let me just put that away. So we're going to just set that aside for a few minutes. And we're going to take care of our designer series paper. So the first thing that we have to do is cut this paper so that the height of it is 5 3/8. And as I look at this, the clouds are a little bigger than the soft kind of weedy look of old flowers. So I'm going to cut the top. So I'm going to put it in my paper cutter at 5 3/8. And I'm going to trim that piece off and save that because I can use it inside a card. And then I'm going to take my other piece and do the same thing because I want the papers to be able to match up. Now, the cutting part next is the part you have to pay close attention to. So on my first sheet, I am going to be cutting on the left-hand side of the paper. And I am going to be cutting two pieces that are 1 5/8 inches. So I'm going to measure this out to the 1 5/8, and I'm going to cut one, and then I'm going to cut a second one. I'm going to set this piece aside. Okay, there's my first two pieces. And then on this piece of designer series paper, I'm going to cut on the right side. So I'm going to turn this upside down, and I'm cutting this one to 3 7/8. And then I'm going to set this aside. Now, the cool thing about this, and this is what makes it panoramic, is I can take these two pieces that I cut together and I can add this piece to it, and look at how it just fits so well together with the design if you kind of go by the hilly section. So that's where we are going to get that panoramic view. And then, as I said, I have two 1 5/8 by 3 7/8 of the basic beige, and then this piece here that I am going to put on the back that also measures 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. So the first thing I'm going to do on here is I'm just going to do my stamping so we can put the card together. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining. So I'm inking this weed up, and I'm going to this time stamp it on the left-hand side. And then, as I said, I wanted to stamp a greeting in here, and, oops, it wasn't that. Where did I put it? Well, maybe I'm not going to stamp it right this second because I don't see the stamp set. I might have put it back in. Let me just see it. I was pulling out so many different stamp sets looking for greetings. Oh, it's right here. It's the Peace on Earth stamp set. And I want to put on this big hugs for you for a good friend. So I'm going to be sending this card to one of my friends. So I am going to probably put this right here on my image. So I'll just ink that up in the pecan pie. There we go. Oops, we have one more thing of stamping to do, so let me not put that away. So this part is all set to go. And then I'm going to stamp my hello right here at the top. All right, now our stamping is done, and all we have to do is put together our card. Okay, so let's just take all of our pieces. And I score on one side, but I always fold in on the other side, and that way you're not going to get any tearing or cracking of the seams, and then I can fold it the way it needs to be, and I'm not going to have to worry about it. So this piece is going to go over, this piece is going to go back like that. So I'm going to get my bone folder if I can find it. I'll tell you, school has started and I'm like so disorganized. I just can't get over it. And usually I'm not a disorganized person. But boy, the first week of school always just overwhelms me. You know, we have 90-something kid names to learn, and though they were really good for the first 2 days, now I can't say I know what next week's going to bring, but okay, there we go. Okay, so this is easy to put together. Really, I think the most difficult part of this is making sure you cut the paper right so it's a panoramic view. So I'm going to take this piece. This is going to go right on the inside of my card. So we only have 1/8 of an inch to work with. So it's going to be close. So there we go with the first piece. And on these two panels, we're putting the basic beige. And again, if you wanted to add stamps, if you wanted to add, so you could stamp on it, you could add die cuts, or you can leave it blank like I'm leaving it blank, because I really want the panoramic view to be showing. So I'll put these two pieces on first. And then I just want to make sure my designer series paper, that I'm lining it up correctly. I don't want to put that on wrong. So this is my first one. So by the time we have Fun Fold Friday, next Friday night, the new mini catalog will have gone live product. And in my mindset, it is definitely fall. So I am going to be doing something fall with you. Okay, so there's the inside of that panoramic card. And then I'm going to go to the back and I'm going to add this piece. So I have a place to write a little message. I can always add more to this to have more room to write, but for the card that I'm sending, I think this will be enough. Okay, so now everything is put together, and I hope you can. I'm going to push this down just a little bit so you can see that panoramic view. And when you stand it on your mantle a little bit at an angle, you definitely see that panoramic view. So now I'm going to do some decorating on the inside with the die cuts. So I just want to show you what I die cut. So this, I used my mini embossing machine, and I used Mossy, Meadow, Cardstock, and some basic beige. So I'm keeping all the colors just the same. So I die cut some different greenery. And I die cut some floral kind of weedy things. So let me just get this piece out. There we go. So this one's going to look like that. And this one, as you can see, let's get this out. And I just have to take out a couple of these pieces that are still stuck in the flower. So there's that one, and then we have another taller one. So let's just get this out. So these are images. So there's that one. All right. And let's get all of these out because I'm going to be using all of them. At first I wasn't going to, there's one I'm not using on the right hand side of the card, and I at first thought I just wouldn't use it, but I'll show you why I used it. So we'll just get this all in the trash. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to be decorating right here on the card with these die cuts. And what I'm going to be doing first is putting a little bit of glue. This is a brand new bottle. I'm not even pushing on it, and the glue is coming out. So I'm just going to be really careful with this. When I was making my sample, it just like gushed out. And I'm going to be tilting this a little bit to the left. And I am actually only gluing the bottom because I'm going to be wanting to tuck things in and around the different leaves. So again, I'm only going to put glue on part of it. And this one is going to go down just beside the leaves, and I'm just going to hold it there for a minute so it sticks. This one I want to make it look taller, so I'm going to put it underneath the leaves, but I'm going to have it come out like that. So let me just put just a tad of glue down here at the bottom. And let me just pick this piece of the leaf up. There we go. So we can slide this under it. And then I can put a little bit of lace. Whoops. Okay. And then my other longer piece, I'm going to be putting over here. I guess just like that. Maybe I'll have it just come over like that. That looks good. They always look different each card I make. So again, I'm just putting very little glue on it. And when you first get a new bottle of this, it just, you have to be really careful because it just comes out on its own. Okay, hold that for a minute. Now we're going to add some more of the greenery. And I'm going to put this piece of green kind of coming over that stem. So it's going to cover a little bit of the weedish flower that I grabbed. And again, just a tiny bit of glue. You don't need a lot. And then this piece here, I'm going to actually put coming over this way. So it really looks like the greenery and the floral pieces are intertwined with each other, which is how I want it to look. grab this little piece now and just give it a little pressure so that it will stick. There we go. Let me show you what that looks like close up. And then I'm going to take this other little piece of greenery because I was missing something right here. So I decided to just add this last piece of greenery that I didn't feel I really needed after I had cut it out. And then I thought, oh yes, I think I do need it. So this is just going to go right here on this side. Now I'm going to take some basic beige ribbon and just make a little bow. As I've said before, I like to tie my bows on the actual ribbon that the spool, so I, waste less. At least in my mind, I'm wasting less by not just cutting off a piece that I think will fit. Just trying to get the bow to be about the same size, and then I'm going to cut each side so it's about the same. And we're going to put this right here. So I'm just going to get a glue dot. I swear I took all of my craft supplies to school to use. So these are my paper pumpkin glue dots. So just taking the top off, and we're going to add our bow going sideways a little bit like this. So this is what the card is looking like now. And then I thought I would use some of the adhesive back textured dots. And I'm going to put some of the small ones on. So keeping this closed, I'm going to put them up where the cardstock is not as dark, and this is what our card looks like. So when we open it again, hopefully you can see that panoramic, and when people stand it up, it will be like this so that you can see the panoramic view. I hope I haven't been beeping too much and going, maybe losing power. As Roz says, she's about to get a storm. We are having thunderstorms tonight, so I've been praying that I'm staying live. Well, that is it for tonight for our Fun Fold Friday. I hope you enjoyed this panoramic accordion fold card. Like I said, I'm going to surprise you with a new stamp set from the mini catalog or from the new online exclusives. I don't remember which one it is. I know what the stamp set is, but I got to look up where I got it from. And of course, I'll be back Sunday night for the last week of the Prairie Grass stamp set, and we're going to be doing fun folds this week. So I hope you have a great weekend, a great long weekend, and I'll see you Sunday night. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.